Welcome back. So we are now on chapter number 11th of 12th class NCERT chemistry. And the chapter is alcohols, phenols and ethers. In the previous videos, we have already discussed the first three questions that are related to the nomenclature and classification of the alcohols into different categories, right? From this very video, in this video, I will be taking up the next question, that is question number 4th. Let's see up to which question we can finish in this video, because I will not be giving you very long videos. I just want you to work in small chunks so that first you absorb the concepts you are taking from one video and only then you are moving into the next questions. Okay, so let's now move into question number 4 and let's see what is the statement for it and what we need to find out. Okay. Question number 4 is explain why propanol has higher boiling point than that of the hydrocarbon butane. Okay, it's 11.4 question. Propanol, CH3, CH2, CH2OH and butane, CH3, CH2, CH2, CH3. So if you see the molecular masses of these two compounds, they are comparable. Almost similar molecular masses will be there, right? But propanol will be having very high boiling point as compared to butane, because in case of propanol, there will be hydrogen bonding. But in case of butane, because there cannot be any kind of hydrogen bonding or polar interaction, so it will have only van der Waals interactions. Van der Waals attractive forces will be there. Now, van der Waals attractive forces, they are quite weak and hydrogen bonding is very strong as compared to the van der Waals attractive forces. So therefore, propanol will be having higher boiling point than butane. Now let's quickly draw the hydrogen bonding in case of propanol. So you can just draw it like this. Even the very first molecule also you can show in this direction only. Like this, it will keep going, right? Now during boiling, what we need to do is we need to break the interactions between the molecules. We do not need to break any kind of bond here. We need to break the interaction between the different molecules. Now, if the interaction is strong, it will be difficult to be broken. Okay, so that is why propanol has a higher boiling point as compared to butane, because in butane there is no hydrogen bonding, no dipole-dipole interaction, but only van der Waals forces. But in case of propanol, there is hydrogen bonding, which is stronger than van der Waals interactions. Okay, now let's see what is the next question. It is question number 11.5. Alcohols are comparatively more soluble in water than hydrocarbons of comparable molecular masses. Explain this fact. Now, if we take a hydrocarbon and if we take an alcohol, okay, now, okay, if we need to have the comparable molecular mass, we can just write it like this, RCH3. So this is the hydrocarbon, this is the alcohol. Alcohols are very highly soluble in water, but hydrocarbons are not that soluble. Why so? Because alcohol molecules, they can form hydrogen bonds with water molecules. But in case of hydrocarbons, there is no such group present which can lead to the formation of hydrogen bonding with water molecules. So there is no hydrogen bonding with water molecules. Okay, so we can just show the hydrogen bonding of alcohol with water molecules like this. So one molecule of alcohol, one molecule of water, and just like this, you can show it. Okay, so this is quite a simple question. Both the questions were based upon hydrogen bonding only. Let's now see what is the next question, question number 11.6. So question number 11.6 is what is meant by hydroboration oxidation reaction. Hydroboration oxidation reaction, illustrated with an example. Okay, now in case of hydroboration oxidation reaction, what we do is we react an alkene with diborane, but here I will be considering BH3 only because BH3 exists in the form of a dimer, so that is why it is known as a diborane. But if we take borane, this is BH3. Okay, now what will happen? It can give its hydrogens to this alkene molecule just like this. I can just show it to you. One hydrogen will go to carbon, and on the other carbon, boron will attach itself like this. Now, these two hydrogen atoms, which are still there with boron, they can also be given to the alkene molecules. That is, the same alkene molecule, I can take one more here. So what will happen? This hydrogen, it will be given to another alkene molecule and it will be attached to boron like this. Now one more hydrogen is there. Okay, so I can just show it like this again. All right. So already we have joined two alkene units to boron. Now the third alkene unit will also get attached to it like this. So what I can write here is, okay, now we will be taking some example, not the general one, some example we will take. Let's take the example of propene. What will happen? Three propene molecules, they will react with BH3. Now this reaction takes place in the presence of tetrahydrofuran, THF. Okay. Now what will happen? It will be, now all these three hydrogen atoms, they will go to this carbon. So it will become CH3, CH2, single bond CH2. Now 3 units of it, they will attach to boron. Now this step is known as hydroboration. What is this step known as? It is known as hydroboration. Now after this, there will be oxidation. Oxidation will be with hydrogen peroxide in the presence of a base. What will it lead to the formation of? It will lead to the formation of alcohol. CH3, CH2, CH2OH plus boric acid will be formed. Now this step is known as oxidation. So the first step, that is the reaction of alkene with borane in the presence of tetrahydrofuran, it is known as hydroboration. After that, there is oxidation of this product formed, leading to the formation of alcohol. It is oxidation. So hydroboration, oxidation. Okay, so let's now move into the next question. Let's see what is it. Question number 7th, 11.7. Give the structures and IUPAC names of monohydric phenols of molecular formula C7H8O. We have been given this formula C7H8O, and we have been given that these are monohydric phenols. Monohydric phenols. That is, monohydric means there will be one OH group. When there is one OH group in a molecule, whether it is an alcohol or phenol, it is known as monohydric alcohol or monohydric phenol, right? Now, if it is a monohydric phenol, this means there will be a benzene ring, and on that benzene ring, there will be OH group. Okay. Now, in this, if you see this phenol molecule, how many carbons are there? 6 carbons. How many hydrogens are there? 6 hydrogens, 1 oxygen. Now, if you look at this formula, out of the total formula, how much has been used is C6H6O. How much is left is CH2. Now, some group is attached on some other position. Suppose it is attached at this position. This means hydrogen will not be here. This means total we have CH3 group. So we will be putting CH3 group here, because CH3 can only be attached here after the removal of hydrogen from this position. Okay, so this is one isomer. The second isomer can be this one, and the third isomer. Now we need to tell the IUPAC names. Now one thing you need to keep in mind is in IUPAC names, we do not use the terms ortho, para, meta. It is only the numbers. Okay. So this phenol group, it will get the first priority. This will be the second one. So it is 2-methyl phenol. Similarly, this will be 3-methyl phenol. This is 4-methyl phenol. Sometimes it happens, okay? You start, stucking somewhere. Okay, it's okay. All right, so we are now done with the 7th question, okay? Let's now move into the 8th question. I'm just clearing the screen. The 8th question is 11.8. Now it is while separating a mixture of ortho and para nitrophenols by steam distillation. Ortho nitrophenol is there and para nitrophenol is there. Let's first draw the structures of these two. Okay. Ortho nitrophenol and para nitrophenol. All right. Now we need to separate the mixture of these two by steam distillation. Steam distillation. Name the isomer which will be steam volatile, give reason. Name the isomer which will be steam volatile, give reason. We need to explain out of these two which one will be steam volatile and why. Okay. Now, when we are doing the distillation, the mixture of the compounds, it needs to be separated using steam. Okay, so the temperature, it keeps on increasing. The compound which has reached its boiling point, the boiling point of the compound has reached, that compound will start coming out. It will start getting distilled off. Okay, now we need to see whether this will distill off faster or the para isomer will distill off faster. For that, we need to just observe the structure of these two compounds. Now, if you see the para nitrophenol, it is having this type of interactions between its molecules. It is like this. That is the hydrogen bonding is there, which is intermolecular hydrogen bonding. Intermolecular hydrogen bonding, that is, the hydrogen bonding is occurring between the different molecules. This is one molecule of para nitrophenol. This is the other molecule of para nitrophenol. This means because of intermolecular hydrogen bonding, these molecules, they will be existing in the form of associated molecules. Associated molecules. Now, if they are associated molecules, it will be difficult to separate them. This means the boiling point of para nitrophenol will be higher than that of the ortho nitrophenol. Now, let's see what is happening in ortho nitrophenol. If you see these two groups, they are very close to each other. What will happen? There will be intermolecular hydrogen bonding. Now, because of this intermolecular hydrogen bonding, these molecules will not be having any interaction with the other orthonitrophenol molecules. This means they will be existing in the form of individual molecules. Individual molecules, because there is intramolecular hydrogen bonding. Intramolecular hydrogen bonding. Now just tell me one thing. Suppose you are a group of friends, right? And one of your friends, he is just holding his own hands and others are holding each other's hands. Okay. Which one will be harder to separate? You can just think of it just like that. You can consider these are different friends holding each other's hands. This is a person who is holding his own hands like this. So which one will be stronger? Which one will be harder to separate? Just like that, apply that in this question. Okay, hope this is clear to you. So we have covered, I think, 5 questions in this video. I think I should stop here so that you can just absorb these concepts, and then we will be moving to the next concepts. Hope you are getting a lot of conceptual clarity. Do subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon also. Okay, like the videos and share the videos with your friends also, so that they can also get conceptual clarity and get great results in their exams. All the best. God bless you, and I will see you in the next video with next solutions.